Because Ben's stupid.
1 minute.
Don't be a stranger now.
We're never gonna make it.
Tinsley sends it to the outside. He can't get there. Kevin King.
What's with this aspect ratio too? It's just mine.
You know, 2004.
This is awesome.
He saves it. 3-4 wide as they come to the white flag. Here comes Vargas down on the apron. They are 5 wide. Ian Plash will win it at the line. Is this package? Oh, there goes Jordan Lopez Jr. That's your race leader. Caution flag is out.
Still no one willing to give up, as they're going to be dead even off of the first chicane.
I think. Yeah.
Oh, he saves it. What's going to happen here? Here comes the canvas. Get your front there.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks.
He's got it. Canvas is in.
Core presented by SimWrapMarket welcomes you to the virtual North Wilkesboro Speedway in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. It's the way back Twin 80s from North Wilkesboro. The field's already rolling, so we got to get to our starting grid. Team Rick, they're the proud sponsor of the Rick Pole Award, given what would be the lowest driver in the point standings at each Core League event. This week, that belongs to Dylan Kem, who's really not in a throwback. That's what he runs every week. Since 2022, Team Rick has awarded less than $0 as part of Core's Pole Reward Program. The rest of your starting grid will scroll across your screen, brought to you by Ed Soundhead. There you see it. Caleb, welcome to Wilkesboro.
Yeah, can't wait. This is going to be a great race. We had a great finish here last year. A few things to keep an eye on, but we'll get to that once we actually get rolling here. It's going to be a good one here from Wilkesboro.
No doubt about it. It's one lap until we get the green. So Dylan Kem and Brayton Laster are on the front row for the initial start. 80 laps on board here for race number 1. And then we'll do 80 more laps for race number 2. That'll be coming up here in just a little bit once this thing is said and done. So it's Brayton Laster and Dylan Kem on the front row for the start. The field all set to go. Pace truck will head to safety on pit lane. We're racing from North Wilkesboro. Three wide mid-pack, but they're somehow able to keep them all pointed in the right direction. Laster, oh, and now Joey's around. Into Frozen, and a big crash. Caution's out. Just really 2 cars. Damage for Dale Reynolds as well, so make that a third. But it was the 5, the Terry Labonte throwback of Joey Stone that went around first, right in the middle of the racetrack going into turn 1.
Yeah, replay right here, and you see just trying to get the car slowed down. And I think he makes a little contact with the 29 throwback ahead of him. That's Fly Guy this week. Joey actually did a pretty good job of keeping that car straight, but everybody behind him can't really say the same.
Yeah, so this gives us a chance at least to go through the throwbacks of everybody. So we'll start from the front. We'll work our way to the back. So Dylan Kem, as I mentioned, absolutely nothing special here. He runs this car every week. It just so happens that it's a throwback to the Bill Elliott days, basically, when he was back in the 9. Behind him, Brayton Laster in what is a Wayne Anderson throwback thing. That ARCA car that had the different looking numbers, well, that's what's sitting there in P2. Says Corey Vervinkt Rocks on the front of it. Talks about Rusty as well. Neither driver here, by the way. This is Fly Guy here, the Kevin Harvick throwback and the number 29. P4, Michael Cozy Jr. throwing back to himself. That's the scheme that Altus Esports ran a couple of years ago. Behind them, Cosman. Yes, it's a throwback. It's a little more subtle, though. It throws back to Dale Jr.'s Looney Tunes car from back in the early 2000s. Justin Melillo, boo, no throwback. Sean Butler, boo, no throwback. Then there's Joey, like we mentioned, in the Tony the Tiger throwback from 2003. Wes Graham throwing back to Dale a little bit. Dale inspired number 88. Landon, boo. Gabe Wood, I talked about his throwback in the group chat, but I forget where exactly he's from. Shout out Dan Pardis. Midwest Transit Racing is where that 50 comes from. You see these guys pitting, by the way. The choose cone is literally pit road. If you go to pit road, you're choosing the inside. If you stay on the racetrack, you're choosing the outside. And we'll get through the rest of your field here once we get back under the caution flag, I guess, because we're going green. 6 laps will be complete here on the restart. Dylan Kem is your leader. We really only completed one of those laps under green. And yes, the ticker, different. And if you'll notice, the aspect ratio a little different as well. 4x3. Got to go classic. Got to go all the way. Green flag. 6 laps complete.
John Butler going to make it 3 wide on the outside here off of turn 2. And this is so scary about Wilkesboro is just how narrow this track really feels. There's not many grooves to run, and just the narrowest mistake you see out of Sean Butler right there, who tags the wall just a little bit, but he's going to be okay.
Landon got a little loose off turn 4 there, lost some spots, but is able to keep it going. But there's still 3 wide up here toward the front. Sean Butler in the thick of it. Meanwhile, Brayton Laster taking the lead. Cozy wants second, and he'll take it on that high side.
This 3 wide battle, I mean, there is just a lot of 3 wide here through the field. Not really what you'd expect for Wilkesboro, but nonetheless, it's what we get here today. And I'm focused right now on David Schildhouse, Justin Champagne. This is so dire in the penultimate few rounds of this season right here. And a little contact between Champagne and Breyer. That's going to push Champagne back up the hill as Schildhouse continues to advance forward. He's going underneath that clipboard.
Oh, trouble, Gabe Wood. Around on the back straightaway to the inside wall. They were 3 wide. Oh, and Garrett Smithley spins as well. By the way, he's new to there are a lot of things we didn't get to. Garrett Smithley making his car debut tonight. He's having a rough go at it so far. You can see him. He's got a little bit of damage to the right side of that number 78. Again, not a throwback. Boo. But nonetheless, Gabe Wood had a spill a lap ago, but he's able to get it rolling at least. He's back in the 24th position now. Cozy, your leader. The battle for second. Dylan Kem, Cosman out SU, Sean Butler.
And looking at the back as we still continue to get sorted out here. Lots of back and forth going on. Michael P. Frisch tried to make it work on the inside. He pushed Justin Melillo up the track, which pushed him from there into Schildhouse. So Frisch is going to get those few spots, but a big moment there out of the 58 and the 53. We stay green.
He can keep it pointed in the right direction. And we didn't get to talk about points as well, but that 20 is in the thick of it as far as points. Your points leader coming in here to North Wilkesboro. Out in front by 17 over Breyer LaPrade. Of course, Breyer also here. Breyer is running back in the 17th spot, so he's behind Schildhouse yet. He's that pink number 1 machine you see on the bottom. Chase Cabry, who missed last week, already used his drop. He is ahead of all these guys. He sits right now in the 5th position. He's trying to find a way to get him back into the championship picture. But it's going to need a lot of help. And beginning with him sweeping victory tonight in both this race and in the next one. 15 laps complete, long way to go. Cozy out in front by half a second. Dylan Kem, Sean Butler, Cosmo SU, 2nd through 4th. And we're keeping an eye on the big pack back here. Chase Cabry, Harry Tiller, and then they're stacked up 2 wide behind him.
And you can see right now, just really surprised at the amount of side-by-side racing we're seeing. I didn't think they'd be this aggressive early on, but these guys in the back desperately trying to make up spots because, I mean, you see it right now on board with Justin Malillo as well. You can see David Schildhouse here. It's just so easy to get kind of gridlocked and almost a little contact. I think they get it sorted out.
Yeah, they do, at least for now. Brayton Laster's having a whale of a time, by the way, up on that outside line in that 13 just ahead of these guys. I think he may have cooked the tires a little too much through this opening run because he is starting to slide backward in the field, trying to hold on to P7 right now. Wes Graham wants it, and he will take it away. Battle for second. As here comes Butler to the inside. Lap traffic ahead of your race leader there. You saw that for a moment. That's Gabe Wood, who, remember, had that spin early under this green flag run. Oh, and Davin really up the hill. Everybody checks up in turn 2. They make it work. But the Clint Boyer throwback had some issues there through turn 1 and 2. Keeps it pointed in the right direction. Some beating and banging further behind. And whoa, look out. Breyer gets into the back of Justin Champagne, no fly guy, and gets him all out of shape. Man, oh man. No, that is, no. Champagne's in the 38. Hello. Pay attention.
Yeah, Dale Reynolds with the rusty colors here.
Oh, man. Sean and Dylan Kim still going at it, though, for P2. Back up here at the front. Sean might have the advantage. Let's see how Bill Elliott decides to drive it in here to the corner.
And, I mean, here at Wilkesboro, this cornering is where you're going to get passes made, and you see Sean Butler right there just able to outbrake Dylan Kim as we have a caution on the racetrack. It's Justin Champagne in turn number 3.
Championship implications there for Champagne, and he got tagged by Breyer LaPrade. Those two made contact going into turn number 3, and Elliott Sadler goes around to bring out our second caution. Here it is. He gets stacked up behind Fly Guy, lifts early, and nowhere for Breyer to go.
And that's just really unfortunate there.
Oh, trouble for Garrett Smithley. Again. He is smoking. What the heck? I think he just had that big a damage. He killed the motor. He's going to meatball. He's going to have to use his fast repair here, as the pits are open and everybody is now headed to the pit lane.
And no surprise there on everybody coming down. Get to see a beautiful array of paint schemes enter and exit their boxes here in unison.
Josie will win the race off the pit lane. Then it's Sean, then Dylan Kim, Cosman, Harry Tiller are your top 5 under this, the second caution flag of the night. So we can look at some of the other cars that are at least throwbacks. Frisch and Cabry and Tiller, all 3 of yous. Boo. Schildhouse, pathetic. Blake McCandless is in a throwback, though. Scott Pruitt or Reed Sorensen, pick your poison.
I think Reed Sorensen on that one.
Well, Scott Pruitt did drive the car. That's the car that Montoya dumped to go to Victory Lane in Mexico City in 2007. Don't ask me how I remember that race, but I remember that race.
Absolutely
talked about
exquisite
DT.
work. Yeah, that's a good-looking car. You see, instead of Jack Daniels on that 07, it is Davin Cornelius on the 77 with the Davin and all on the hood of that race car. So a lot of effort went into that paint scheme, and it looks fantastic.
Case Kallenbach throwing back to when Mark Stahl had to use Kyle Petty's backup car at Charlotte back in the olden days. So that's what Case's car is. Let's see. Dale Reynolds, he's in a Rusty Wallace throwback. Eliza Bethal, Frozen Toes is in a Davey Allison throwback. Would have matched with Cody H Gaming, but no Cody. And we already saw Champagne with the Elliott Sadler throwback. Gary Owen, by the way, he's in a Jeff Gordon 2002 throwback. Green flag, back in the air, and oh, Dylan Kim gets turned around by Harry. Cosman in it as well, and up and over Dylan Kim. Caution's out. That was quick.
Wow.
Well,
I don't even have any other words for that except just wow. I mean, they get stacked up, but I like flipping it. North Wilkesboro, not exactly what I had on the bingo card here tonight, but it is core, so anything can happen.
yep. I've seen it happen to Martinsville in this league, so anything's possible. Here's your replay, and just gets tagged by Harry in the right rear. Then Cosman goes around trying to avoid Harry. Blake gets a piece of it as well. That little tap from Cosman there is enough to send old Bill over. Man. All right, well, Cozy's your leader. We'll step aside and go to a break. We're already almost halfway through race number 1. Cozy, your leader of the, what's this race called? The Wayback Twin 80s at North Wilkesboro. Back after this on FTF. Back here from North Wilkesboro, wrapping up third caution. Michael Cozy Jr. leader. Cabry on the inside for the restart, and we're back to green.
Good launch there for Cozy.
Trouble on the back. Frozen and Champagne, still green. Dylan Kemp, by the way, he is still on the pit lane. He did not use his fast repair, but that car has a good amount of damage to it because of him going upside down under the last caution.
Looking further back, and Joey Stone just goes around off turn 2.
That's his second slide tonight. Single car, we stay green. By the way, an update. DK had a black flag in the pits, and he doesn't have his chat enabled, so that's why he's still sitting down there, because he got a black flag and nobody cleared it. Oops.
Lots of close quarters racing going on right now. DT's around.
Caution's out. Bow in the grass, and it was just a slide for him in the middle of the corner. But, oh, and Dale Reynolds around as well. So, two-piece there. I'd imagine that was the caution then? I hope. Dale's got, oh, yeah. Big crash on the front straightaway. Yeah, so DT crashed as a result of the caution coming out. We had a 4-car crash, and Dale Reynolds almost went upside down. So here we go. Front straightaway. Garrett gets hooked. And down into Gary Owen and Harry Tiller, nowhere to go. And that 27 almost goes over. Big moment there. We're right on board with Blake. Or not. How about Garrett?
Yeah, that's never good here at Wilkesboro if you see the undercarriage of one of your competitors. Garrett Smithley's course stint not off to the greatest of starts here.
Halfway here this time by, Cozy, your leader. The top 14 cars staying out under this caution. Make that 15 cars staying out under this caution flag. And for those of you joining us, 10 days left to the Bar Visuals FTF 500 from Daytona. Qualifying is in 2 days. Qualifying starts, rather, in 2 days. We'll be live on FTF2. We're live on the Deuce for qualifying, part 1. That'll be 4 hours long, and then the Brook Clash that night. Caleb and I will be with you for that. That's also on the Deuce. Saturday, more qualifying. That's at least in the afternoon. And then we have the duels that evening into the overnight before we get into the alphabet soup the following weekend. So it's just qualifying, the Brook Clash, and the duels this weekend, but you'll catch it all for the most part over on the Deuce on FTF2. And you'll catch everything but the duels on FTF2. The duels themselves, that's 9 and 10 o'clock on Saturday. You'll see those on FTF right here where you're watching this right now. Back to racing, 42 laps complete. Cozy with the launch.
And you see him starting to fan out just a little bit back in the field. Cabry trying to get Sean knocked around, but not going to work here. Is still side by side for the second position off turn number 4. Cozy with the lead. Looks like big blocks once again. Here comes Frisch.
I think Cabry just overdrove the corner, and Sean had to do everything to keep from running him over, and he was able to do so, but that's going to open up the door for Frisch. Frisch had a whale of a finish last year with Landon Huffman in a photo finish. Huffman right now sitting in P6. He's had a good rebound after starting toward the back. Frisch as well, starting to claw his way toward the front now. Again, we're past the halfway point. Cozy, your leader, go figure. The short track guy out in front.
An interesting note as well, it was announced before this race that we would change the weather around from what it usually is. So in sim, it is 9 a.m.
Joey Stone has had some issues. Car in the wall. That's a separate deal. But Joey spun it at the exit of turn 4, hit the end of the pit wall, and is now on the pit lane. I don't think he used his fast repair, so he is stuck sitting in the box right now getting the damage fixed. He actually has a black flag as well that he has to serve from speeding coming onto pit road as a result of him crashing. So more trouble for the Terry Labonte throwback, and he's had a rough go of it here at Wilkesboro these past couple of years. You'll see what happened. It just gets loose and gets the tires and goes for a slide. So he's now back on the racetrack, 2 laps down in the 23rd position. Actually make that 3 laps down in the 23rd position. That was Melillo, by the way, that got the wall 2 laps ago, but he keeps it green. For Joey, his results here at Wilkesboro, 5th in Season 3, which, not bad. Then 16th and 10th last year in the doubleheader. And so far, things not looking great for the guy with Mr. They're Great on the hood. So Cozy out in front. 3 wide in second. Cabry on the outside. At least they're staggered 3 wide. Justin Champagne just had a bit of a moment. He's battling back here with Breyer. And there are points implications all over this. Second and third in points, battling for ninth on the racetrack. Battle for second. Fresh on the inside. Oh, lit up the tires on exit. He's got Cabry to the outside, and they'll stay side by side. And just look at him sprint out. One car completely to the bottom, another car completely to the top. Case is in trouble on the front straightaway, and the caution's out. Case Kallenbach and Frozen made some contact. They were 4 wide off turn 4, and that doesn't work at any short track. Didn't work here, and we're under our 4th caution flag of the race. Here is the replay.
And yeah, you can see right there, just, I think it was contact between Case and Frozen Toes right there that really initiated that one. Like you said, 4 wide's not going to work at any short track, much less North Wilkesboro here, where it's not really known for its ability to conduct that type of racing.
So once again, the caution. Some folks are pitting, other drivers choosing to stay out. That includes your race leaders. They will, for the most part, stay out under this caution flag. Those of you curious about cautions, this is caution number 5. So only 5 cautions so far, which is not too bad for a short track where we had a bunch. Not only here in the past, but also at Martinsville. Or no, what? Where were we this year? Where we had 15,000 caution flags? No, Martinsville. That's right. Martinsville did come back on
Martinsville.
Yeah, Martinsville was on the schedule this year. I'm thinking, no, there's no way we let Martinsville back on the schedule. Yeah, we did. It's been a long season. We've only got 1 more week left. The 2 races tonight here from Wilkesboro. We end the season. 2 races at Atlanta. Good Atlanta, so old Atlanta. And then we are done, at least for a little while. I know we've talked about it, I think, every other year with Core, but hopefully we can get something off the ground as far as something for the summer, even if it's brief, before we get back into the fall. We better not start in December this time. Hopefully we could start a little bit earlier so we can maybe end this time of year instead of really next week, cutting it awfully close to the start of the NASCAR season, since that begins well, really this weekend with the Clash out at the Coliseum.
We're going to go over a little bit, and even in Sim we got a lot, but you see choosing time.
And your leaders picking the outside here. Sean Butler will lead him down on the bottom. So, here we go. Getting set for the restart. We'll have 21 to go. Green flag. Watch out for Huffman on the bottom in that 75. Got his first win here last year, trying to replicate that here tonight. Looking for position number 3, side by side with Cabry, who's trying to redeem himself after missing last week. And here comes Fresh back into the mix as well for the top 5. Trouble for Melillo off the pace? No, that's Gabe Wood off the pace. Just like 2004, I cannot tell, at least on through our prog feed, who is who. Nonetheless, 18 to go here at the line. Cozy out in front. Frisch and Huffman stuck side by side for position number 4. Cabry trying to reel in Sean Butler, but it just ain't working.
And Landon Huffman slowly but surely has been working his way up through this field. And the winner of this race last year, and he all of a sudden is in the picture here with 17 to go.
I know Huffman would love to get back to victory lane.
Ozzy's still doing a great job right now. He's got Sean just peaking right now. You know, nothing's wrong with that. But can't slip up at this point in the race for sure.
Back to Huffman for just 1 second. You got to keep in mind here the fact that he got a little trouble with the law. And I don't mean the real law, I mean Ben, which at this point might as well be the real law. It got into a little intent wrecking last week at Watkins Glen between him and Vargas. And that earned Huffman a visit to the big red truck, and they sorted it out. He's on probation for the last 2 weeks of the season. DT saves it after he and Schildhouse made contact. But they're able to keep it green. But Huffman, well, you know, has to race a little smarter, a little less harder, but right now he's in the thick of it because here comes Breyer toward the front, getting away from Champagne. Again, big in the points.
Yeah, I mean, this battle right here, if you're Breyer, you got to make as much gap to David Schildhouse behind you as you can. Every spot at this point is going to matter, especially as close as we are to the finish here.
11 to go here at the start-finish line. Cozy out in front continues to lead the way. Side by side for P4. Huffman has it. Breyer wants it. Schildhouse trying to reel in the gap as well. A little bobble there from LaPrat on the bottom. But it's going to work for him. He's got the spot.
That was a great move there by Breyer. He's got to not let Pete Frisch in as we have more contact in the back. No caution, however. We're still racing up front. Breyer now has his sights focused on Chase Cabry. If he can get around him, this would be even more of a buffer to the points leader in Schildhouse.
Cabry got the wall that last time by into turn 1, just drove it in too hot. But is able to at least keep it pointed in the right direction. By the way, that trouble was Joey Stone. He has towed it back to the pit lane. And he already has used his fast repair, so I believe that's going to be day ender, or at least race ender, for car number 5. Battle for the lead in the final 10 laps. Sean Butler within a tenth and a half of Michael Cozy Jr. Trying to go for the win as well. Cabry with a big slide off turn 4.
And there's not a position worse to be in than a leader at a short track here, because you got to have every single one of these corners be absolutely perfect. One little slip up and that car behind you is going to have it. In this case, Sean Butler, and he's just waiting to pounce on this 99. If he does make a mistake, that's the 88 of Wes Graham up in the wall.
And he is off. Oh my, that was dangerous. He was up, got turned into the outside wall by Cosman. He is down in the grass trying to stay out of harm's way, and now Huffman gets turned by DT. He saves it. 5 laps to go.
And you see David Schildhouse making his way around that 75 machine now. Back up at the front, though. Sean Butler looks like he's eased off a little bit from this 99, as it might be smooth sailing here for Cozy.
Yeah, Cozy might be able to pull it away faster that last time by than Sean Breyer, actually, the fastest car, one of the fastest cars on the racetrack. In P3, he may have a shot here, and if we go to overtime, he may be in the catbird seat. Here comes the pink mobile of Breyer LaPrade looking for second with 3 laps to go. To the inside. If he can get by Sean, he may have a shot. He drives it in deep. 2 to go at the line.
Still side by side from these two. Hard fought. Looks like Breyer's going to back off on entry here just a little bit. Going to slide up on Sean Butler now. And that 32 is going to be clear off turn number 2. But for how long will that stand true? Coming to the white flag here, Jacob.
Brayton Laster, I don't know what in the world he did. He had to pit. White flag in the window. 1 lap to go here from North Wilkesboro. Cozy out in front. Sean Butler second. Briar LaPrade third. Big point stay for car number 1 if you can keep the tires underneath him. He dives to the inside for one last shot at P2. Off the corner. Michael Cozy Jr. He's back. He wins at North Wilkesboro and at the stripe gives second
Briar
to Briar. Barely 2 1,000ths of a second. A great photo finish for P2.
That one spot's going to be absolutely huge for that one machine. That gap he built to Schildhouse there could prove to be the difference for car number 1, who coming into this race was sitting P2, looking to change that here tonight.
Just like to point out, by the way, the fact that Briar, his average finish here at Wilkesboro is crazy. He finished first and third last year here, and now a P2 today. We'll take a look at our results. Cozy, your winner. Briar LaPrade second. Sean Butler is third. Fourth place belongs to Chase Cabry. DT in fifth. Going in sixth. Then Frisch, Champagne, Schildhouse, Huffman, your top 10, Caleb.
Dylan Kim. Yeah, Dylan Kim, who started on the pole, going to finish 12th. Justin Malillo in 13th. Garrett.
All right. Well, here's your rest. Garrett Smith, Link Case, Kallenbach, Kazan Issue, Fly Guy, Dale Reynolds, Gabe Wood, Frozen. 4 more drivers. Harry Tiller, Brayton Laster. Harry was the last one to finish on Lee lap. Laster, Graham, and Joey Stone. We'll try and get Caleb connected via the satellites, but we'll talk with our race winner at least. Michael Cozy Jr., first win since we were back at the last short track at Martinsville, but you flat out dominated this race.
Hello, I like short track racing. That was fun. It was. I told DT if he made me a paint scheme and he made such a great throwback, I had to win, so I won. Very fun racing out there tonight. Great setup. It's kind of hanging it out there. It's loose. Got to get up on it. It's a fun short track too. Doing some brawling out there. Sean kept me honest. Shout out to Sean. Man, I want to go out there and win the second one if I'm being honest.
Is that the plan for the second one? And if so, how are you going to get it done?
It's definitely the plan. I don't know. I kind of want to I don't know if y'all. I had a great pass to lead this race. I didn't look back after that. I was so hyped. I took, what was that, Brayton 3 wide, and then DK was up underneath. I was going back and look at that. Oh my goodness, that was hot. I'm gonna try to do some stuff like that again if I got started back, which I think I do. So we'll be seeing you.
All right. Well, congratulations, Cozy, and best of luck here in race number 2. Thanks for your time.
Oh, thank you very much.
That's Michael Cozy Jr., your race 1 winner here at North Wilkesboro. So we'll step aside. Race number 2 coming your way next. Stay with us here on FTF. Back here from North Wilkesboro, it's the... Oh, for crying out loud. The Way Back Twin 80s at North Wilkesboro. It's an easy name. It's at least easier than what Cosman named this thing last year, but it doesn't necessarily roll off the tongue. We're joined now by...
To the sim.
Davin Cornelius and P6? P5? Race 1?
Why are you saying that so surprised-like? I finished P5 last week, too.
I know, but your experiences here at North Wilkesboro have not been pleasant. P9 in Season 3, P11 and P17 last year, so P5 is a little out of left field.
I tell you what, I was having a very pleasant experience tonight. This thing was driving like a dream. I had a lot of fun in the first half of that race. Kind of got shuffled a little bit, got bodied, got loose, went to the back. And when we had a chance with a caution with 25 laps to go or whatever, I trust in the great Michael Cozy Jr. And as he always says, never doubt the freshies. I put the freshies on and I just followed Breyer all the way to the front. Well, not all the way to the front, but up to the top 5, which is the front for me. I'm happy.
What's playing here for race number 2? You're going to try and follow that same pattern? Obviously, cautions may not fall the same way, but what are you looking at here for race 2?
Yeah, probably just gonna do what I did last time. Had some fun. It's I really love how this thing runs. How you can kind of you can make moves on the bottom, you can make moves around the top, deep in the pack. It's just it's a battle, but it's a fun battle. I'm feeling pretty good. I feel like I've got this place way more figured out than I did the past couple seasons. So we're gonna send it.
Go ahead, Caleb.
Yeah, and DT, we heard pre-race about some changes that y'all were experimenting with for weather. How do you think that's really affected how this race has been run?
It's grippier. I mean, I've been setting up the sessions on default weather, and the track has just been really hot. So you just kind of push slightly too hard, and then you just spin out. And you get loose. It's slidey. It's slick. So we cooled it down for this race, and it's been a dream because you can really push the car more. I mean, obviously you can still get loose if you go too hard, but it's way easier to go side by side consistently, and I've been having a blast.
And I mean, do we have any thoughts maybe if we see this in the future in core?
Yeah, I'll hear from the rest of the drivers after the race, but if everyone had the experience that I did, I think we'll be sort of making this the normal from now on.
There you heard it. This is the track that's replacing Martinsville. DT, thanks for your time. We'll see you maybe here at the end of the second race. Best of luck.
Hopefully. Have fun.
That's DT.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. I think with everybody now kind of having an idea of what their cars are gonna feel like. We saw towards the end of that race, guys were getting a little more aggressive. Which I didn't think was possible with how aggressive they were on the early runs, but they weren't wrecking the cars as much per se.
All right, race number 2. Your crazy reverse grid brought to you by Benjamin Easterday, providing retro videos in our 2003 and iRacing help on YouTube. Your grid looks like this. Joey Stone finished last. He starts on pole. Wes Graham to his outside. Harry Tiller, frozen. That makes up row 2. Gabe Wood, Dale Reynolds, row 3. Fly Guy Cosman, row 4. Kaysen Garrett, row 5.
Back on to row number 6. We have Justin Malillo and Dylan Kem. Blake McCandless going to be starting alongside Landon Huffman, David Schildhaus, and Justin Champagne. That's a championship caliber row right there. Michael P. Frisch with Going in row 9. And then Davin Cornelius, who we just talked to, alongside Chase Cabry, and that's row 10.
Then Sean, Breyer, and Cozy. Brayton Laster, stuck in a porta potty. He will not make the start of race number 2, but if he does get in, I'm guessing that he'll get his laps back. So 80 more laps on tap here, and we'll do another lap around another pace lap behind the pace car. And it sounds like we're going to use this weather again next week when we go to Atlanta. So cooler conditions earlier on in the day. We started the race at around 9 o'clock a.m. And that's what things will look like again next week from Atlanta. There's your weather. Wow. It's what year is it? Old graphics, new graphics? Just make a weather graphic with the new FTF stuff, Zach. Come on now. One lap to green. Caleb, who's your pick to win?
Yeah, I've been looking through this field, and there's lots of contenders. Looking at Cosman, maybe he had a little bit of speed, but I'm gonna go with my gut here. He won here last year. I like Landon Huffman here. I think he has a great mix of starting up towards the front, so he doesn't have to burn through his stuff really to get up there, and just has a ton of pace. So that 75 machine, I'd say keep your eye on him.
All right, well, here we go. Getting set to go. Pace truck to the safety of pit lane. Joey and Wes Graham lead us to green. Oh, there goes Dale Reynolds. Around off the bumper of Garrett Smithley. Dylan Kem around on the inside wall. Going to take a couple more with him. And the caution's out for the first time on lap 1.
And that's just super unfortunate. Looks like Garrett Smithley made a slight bit of contact. See it right here on the replay. Just that slightest bit of contact was enough to send that 27 around in the middle of really a pack formation there in turn number 4. See Fly Guy and his new Kurt Busch throwback right there, just to the outside of him, and he was able to get around it. And you see behind him, oh DT, hard hit, nowhere for him to go.
Sean got a piece as well. DT goes to the pits, and he takes his fast pair. Everybody else staying out there. Justin Malillo had to leave us, by the way, for prior commitments. So he is off, and we will hopefully see him next week at the Atlanta Motor Speedway for the season finale here for Core. Nonetheless, we'll get a restart here shortly, and we made it further in race 1 than we did in race 2, as far as laps. We completed a lap under green the first time around, not so much here.
And we'll see right here. Joey Stone going to pick the inside. Harry Tiller with the fake out. He's going to go to the outside.
Most drivers picking the outside here. Joey, Frozen, Cosman, Garrett, Landon, Champagne, Posey, Cabri, LaPrade, Case, all picking the inside line. Everybody else going up to the top. 5 laps will be complete here when we get the restart. Wes Graham is your race leader. Joey sits P2. He's on the bottom. Green flag.
Joey did a good job of sticking with Wes Graham right there. That 88's going to barely be clear.
They are 4 wide. I can't believe they made it. Blake McCandless just set it up there, and now he's around. Oh, and there goes Frisch and Schildhouse. Caution's out.
That was just a stack up. Saw it right there start with Blake McCandless.
Yeah, and for Blake, get a replay. Does he get tagged? Oh, he checks up, trying to avoid getting into Dylan Kem. And that gets him sideways and nowhere for Schildhouse and Frisch to go. 2 drivers in the battle for the championship.
And you see he's to his outside right here. Doesn't quite have that run off. Tries it again, and just not the real estate to do that same move that he did in turn 1 and gets stacked up. Frisch and Schildhouse with nowhere to go, like you said, and really a tough break so far for Schildhouse. You know, he had a strong start to race number 1, but things have not gone his way since.
We are choosing this time. The caution shortened since it just came after a caution. Still a lot of damage to Blake's car. He did not use his fast repair here. Dale Reynolds and Drive Through, the only two that have used their fast repair, both of those coming after the first caution flag of the night. So 9 laps complete when we get the restart. We'll double up behind the pace car. Wes Graham still your leader. Gabe Wood now the first car on the inside line. And we'll see how this works out. Graham and Wood on your front row. 9 laps complete. Green flag.
Interesting there by Sloppy to choose the outside after he was on the inside last time. But you see right here, side by side with Gabe Wood, might be working to his advantage here. They're getting a little stacked up in the back. Landon Huffman has to make evasive maneuvers. They keep it clean. And off turn number 4, it's going to be Wes Graham who's retaining the lead off the restart.
Oh my, it is a hornet's nest up here. Frozen Toes in the 64. 3 wide. Garrett to the outside. Huffman to the inside. And Cozy right behind. Everybody's good. Oh, and that's Cabry. There's still 3.
Yeah, Frozen just trying to let everybody make their moves, not cause anything. Great job by her to keep the car straight and in one piece, because that was a very precarious situation. Now has Sean Butler to her rear and not able to quite get around her yet.
Joey Stone looking for the lead on Wes Graham. Harry Tiller is right there as well, looking for P2. Oh, hang on to it, Joey.
I was just going to say, Joey Stone, who's not quite had the greatest season. He's wanted to win so bad, and overdriving it like that off 4 is not going to be the way to get it.
Well,
he's going to fall back.
You talk about he's wanted to win. He hasn't gotten a top 10 this year outside of the All-Star race. That's his lone top 10, and it didn't count for points. He has had a rotten luck season. Hoping to turn it around today, but started out front here in race number 2. Race 1 was about as abysmal as it could get for driver number 5. And we'll see if he can hold on here. 15 laps complete.
And you see Cosman now to his outside. Landon Huffman, Michael Cozy Jr. as well. I mean, if you're Joey Stone right here, you don't want to let these guys start getting around you, because I feel like it's just going to be an avalanche from there. So he's going to be really aggressive here, almost to the back of the 84. And now Landon Huffman at his outside. We'll see if Huffman will have any luck here.
Well, and it's the invert of a Martinsville, where the bottom side is the king. Really, you want to be a lane off the bottom, right in the middle, where Huffman and Cozy are. That's where you're able to make the passes. The inside line, you can use it for sliders, and that's about it. You're not going to find consistent speed down there. You're not going to be able to make passes down there.
And honestly, this track a lot reminds me of an IRP style type of racetrack, where, as you said, that top side is the king. You know, you're going to have to slow the car down way too much. You want to naturally just carry your momentum around the outside of this racetrack, and you're going to see it here with Cozy. Huffman was able to get around Chase Cabry as well. That run off the corners is king.
Cabry washed it up a little bit, but he's going to get the launch on exit. And Joey might have a lane. Meanwhile, for the lead, here comes Harry Tiller to the inside of Wes Graham. Nice little battle up here between these two. Haven't talked about Harry much this year in that 69 machine. He's made more races this season than the last 2 seasons combined. He only missed 1 race, and it was Watkins Glen last week. High this year finished 3rd in the first race at Daytona, then a 4th the second time around at Daytona in race 2, and then a 5th at Martinsville. After having 2 wins in his first season here in Core, 1 at Iowa, 1 at the Roval. It only made 4 starts, make it 3 starts last season. Looking for the lead here. Wes Graham, he's had an up and down year in that 88.
And you see Harry right there. I thought he had the pass completed, but he got really wiggly off turn number 4. He's still going to have that lead, but maybe don't put it in pin just yet. Off of turn number 2, Wes Graham still might be able to peek to the inside. Back behind him, Gabe Wood. Cosmin Ionescu has Landon Huffman looking at his inside.
Wes Graham, his best finish, 4th, second race at Talladega. And then followed that up with a 7th at Watkins Glen. Struggled at the start of the year, no top 10s. And then a top 5 and a top 10 at Watkins Glen, setting him up here. Trying to turn his season around. And, after Daytona, a little frustrated with how things went. But he realized what the league's all about. He's been just vibing. And the finishes necessarily don't matter for driver number 88. He's just out here having a blast with some of the best.
Oh, and contact between Cosmin Ionescu and Cozy right there. I thought Cozy was going to go around for sure. But they're going to remain side by side. Still locked. This is for 5th position. Chase Cabry eagerly awaiting one of these two to get around the other so he can make his advance. Doesn't necessarily want to go 3 wide here. We saw how that went in race 1. And didn't really work out for anybody involved.
And Cabry, remember, he's hunting for points. He finished 4th in race 1. He needs a lot of help to still have a shot at the title. And we'll do the math after the race for next week to see who all mathematically still has a shot to win the Core Season 5 championship presented by SimWrapMarket. 28 laps complete. Harry Tiller out in front by half a second. Your battle, 3rd on back. You're seeing it all right here. Side by side, Huffman and Gabe Wood.
And I mean, the championship battle this year has been so much fun. I mean, usually in Core, every year I can think back, it's usually just 2 guys that are fighting for the championship. And this year, I mean, we have guys like Schildhouse LaPrade, Justin Champagne, but I mean, even going, could make a fight for it in 4th. Frisch, the defending champion as well. I mean, this top 5 as a whole, really, I mean, all of them could have a shot going into next week. It just depends on how it plays out here. But just a fun year, and you see Landon Huffman and Gabe Wood right there making a little bit of contact.
Depending on how Landon finishes this race, he could have a shot next week. He's only 3 points behind Cabry. I get he didn't have the best finish in race number 1, but if he can come away with a solid race 2, he could at least be within striking distance for a top 5. As look out, Gabe Wood, up the hill he goes. Let's get a suspension on board if we can with number 99. Yeah, can't see anything, but it's still a cool shot.
Yeah, you can see just how much they're bouncing around right here through the corners and on the straightaways. Very rugged surface here at North Wilkesboro.
Oh, man, Cabry and Gabe Wood almost made contact a couple of times there in turn 3. They keep it pointed in the right direction. And you got Breyer right there as well. Again, at this point, has to be your championship favorite. The highest running driver as far as your championship hunt. Schildhouse stuck back in 13th. Champagne back in 11th.
And I mean, Breyer this season, he's just been on fire. His problem has been that he hasn't really been at every race this season, but the races he has been at, he's just, again, absolutely been on fire. He had, again, that average finish streak where he didn't finish lower than 2nd, I believe, and has just carried that momentum throughout this entire season and has just been on fire. So Breyer LaPrade, trying to take all this momentum from today, from the entire season, and row it to the wall for Atlanta next week, and it'll be fun to watch.
Now, remember, Breyer was in the same position last year, where he tried to put together a crazy run for the championship. Here's how it worked. He made the first race at Daytona, skipped Iowa, finished 5th at Daytona, and then went on an insane run. 2nd and 1st at Lanier, 3 wide. Hello. It's McCandless, Garrett Smithley, and DT. They're still 3 wide. That's back here for the 16th position. They're racing that hard. But for LaPrade, 2nd, 1st Lanier, First at CTMP, second and 15th at Martinsville, got crashed on the last lap in the last corner. Fourth at Michigan, one at Homestead, missed the Roval. Eighth at Dega, first and third here at Wilkesboro a season ago. It came down to Atlanta. His internet crapped the bed the night of the race. He could not compete for a title, handing the championship to Michael P. Frisch, since all he had to do at that point was show up to Atlanta and he would be the champion.
And it was such a tough break for Breyer last year, again in that 1-2 championship fight, but hopefully everything goes well for him this year, because he's going to have a very real shot at a championship here with David Schildhouse. Justin Champagne at the very least.
Oh man, Breyer blinking through 3 and 4. That's got to be concerning.
Yeah, I don't want any part in that.
Yeah, so far so good. Traffic behind him. That's Gabe Wood, the first car that's behind him.
Watch out up at the front. Landon Huffman now to the inside of second place Wes Graham. And call it third place Wes Graham now as Landon Huffman moves into the second position. Michael Cozy Jr. hard in pursuit behind these two. Huffman going to take sole control of that second position and set his sights on the leader here in Harry Tiller with 38 laps to go. Michael Cozy Jr. as well. Slot him into the third position now.
Huffman, fastest car on the racetrack that last lap. One of the fastest, actually. Frisch was the fastest at 29.028. Problem is for Frisch, he's back in 13th. He is on fresh tires, but he is wedged back in traffic and far behind the race leader. And nice battle back here. That's Sean Butler with Cabry. Cosman is in there. Joey Stone hanging on to a top 10. Remember, still looking for his first top 10 this season. Going back there in the 24, and Justin Champagne trying to fight for a title.
And that's what I was going to talk about. Sean Butler, right over the radio there, issued a rare sorry Cosman for a little bit of contact here. Joey Stone now with going to his outside. These two hard, both fighting for the top 10, but Justin Champagne desperately wanting around the both of them here because he needs to make up spots to championship rival Breyer LaPrade, who's sitting in the 5th position and might be making up another one here to the inside of Wes Graham for the 4th position. And you got to keep that margin as small as possible. Breyer was already the highest finishing championship contender in race number 1. And he might be on his way to the same fate here in race number 2.
Breyer started toward the back. He's plus 18 positions now since the drop of the green flag. Only one driver better. Cozy, he's up 20 spots since the drop of the green flag. But they've got the fishing pole out on Harry Tiller right now. Look at this pack. 3 cars under a blanket. The pressure is on driver number 69 as we hit 31 laps to go.
And I mean, starting to see this racetrack, change just a little. And we might be seeing the leader change right here. Landon Huffman to the inside of Harry Tiller. No contest for this number 75. And the defending race winner of this event is going to take the lead once again. Landon Huffman and now Michael Cozy Jr. run 1-2 around Harry Tiller.
And these two will try and duke it out.
And this should be
Oh, Harry's pitting. I was going to ask about, fuel since we've been green for so long. And Harry Tiller comes on in the pit lane, and he is joined by Dylan Kem. Pit stops.
Wonder if we'll see these guys start to follow suit here soon with just under 30 laps to go. You still see these two, Landon Huffman and Michael Cozy Jr. Cozy looks like he's going to try to send it to the outside, but not quite going to have the runoff that Landon Huffman got.
And for Tiller, a gas and go. Kem decided to take tires. Harry decided just fuel, and Chase Cabry makes it to pit road, but he almost got clobbered. Oh, man, that was close. Going almost drop-kicked him. Cabry Let's see what he does in the pits. 4 tires for car number 39.
And I think Harry Tiller right there is going to be more the exemption to the rule rather than the actual rule itself. Can't imagine why these guys would not take tires here. I know Harry just wants to make up the time. Again, pitting
Champagne
from the lead, as you see Justin Champagne coming down now, and I think you're going to start to see the rest of this field slowly but surely cascade into the pit road.
Championship on the line there for the 38. Gabe Wood says he's also coming in this time by. Maybe no, he's going to wait until next time because he had Cosman all over his back end. He's trying to make it clear that, hey, I'm pitting, don't kill me. Let's see if he can make that happen here. And no. All right, Gabe. I don't know when in the world Gabe's going to pit because they're side by side behind him. Cosman tried to get out of the way, and now Goen is right there in the 24.
Yeah, so hard to get on pit road here, especially when these guys are side by side behind you. Thought he was going to maybe pit right there, but again, with Gary right there, it's just a nightmare to get on a pit road.
Will he try it this lap? He didn't announce it, so I'm thinking no. And no, he will not. Nobody has come onto the pits.
And good move by Cosman here. He's just going to let Gary by him and let Gabe get to pit road as he's going to declare over the radio. Cosman as well says he's coming down the pit lane as well.
That's why he dropped to the bottom. I think Sean, oh my, Gabe Wood, look out. I think Sean maybe tried to pit, but he missed it pretty badly, so he's just throttled up and said, all right, I'll go around another time. But he also didn't call out. It was just a really low exit and seemed off the pace. Joey Stone is going to pit this time. Sean will continue to stay out. Here comes Joey in the 5. Nobody having issues as far as speeding is concerned up to this point. Battle for the lead.
And Cozy actually just smacked the wall pretty good. He had a run off at turn number 2. These two have been running nose to tail the entire time since we left to monitor the pit road situation. So Cozy's been all over the rear of this 75, and he's going to slide the rear tires just a little. Still going to have the position on him, though, and now going to fall back behind the number 75, trying desperately to get around Landon Huffman here.
Sets him up, enters high in turn 3, cranks it down, gets the run off the corner. Problem is he can't get through the back door of that 75. Fly Guy's going to be pitting this time by. But we are inside, 20 laps to go. The laps trickling down, and these two are racing really, really hard up here at the front.
And I mean, to my knowledge, these two are going to have to pit. So, interesting.
Breyer's in.
Battling this hard right now. And here comes Cozy.
Breyer will pit. Fuel only for him, and your top 2 are coming to pit road. There's trouble on the racetrack. Dale Reynolds went around. But it was a single car spin. We stay under green. Sean Butler takes over the race lead, and he almost gets hit by Goen. Goen will pass him for position. Sean is pitting here. Chase Cabry just blinked and skateboarded down the back straightaway. And Sean will make it to pit road just fine. I think Goen will be pitting this time. So that'll give Frisch the lead.
Oh, and we got
trouble. Gabe Wood is around. And the caution is out. Gabe Wood just got loose in turn 1 and was stopped in the middle of the racetrack. And oh boy, does this have lots of implications, not only on the race, but the championship.
You'll see Gabe Wood right here through turns 1 and 2. Car just going to step out on him under braking. Stopped in the middle of the track. Good caution call right there from Admin Ben. And like you said, this has huge implications on the championship. We saw Breyer just a few laps ago came down the pit road. David Schildhouse, his championship rival, now in as well.
All right, well, they're going to make their stops. We'll reset the field when we come back here on FTF. You're watching Core, presented by SimWrapMarket. Back here from North Wilkesboro for the way back Twin 80s. Core League presented by SimWrapMarket. Want to thank all of our sponsors here while we have the chance. FTF.gg, obviously, what we use to broadcast all these races to you. Cody H Gaming, Swan Security, Naughty Wood at naughtywoodbarbecue.com. That dude named Dale, Gabe Wood, Team Rick at Soundhead, and SimWrapMarket, sponsoring the whole series, allowing us to function. So how things work here. Blake McCandless stayed out. He did not pit before the caution came out. He is, I don't think he's pitted at all. So he's on ancient tires and is trying to make it on fuel. Ben's trying to sort out a scoring deal right now. Oh, and now Blake pits. Oh, no. Blake thought they were choosing. That's why. Okay, so he gets back onto the racetrack now. So everybody has to get lined up, and now I think we're all good. So everybody is back on the lead lap now with wave arounds and everything. I thought maybe we were going to trap some people down, but the championship guys were already back on the lead lap. So your top, 8 stayed out, something like that. Oh my. Now they're choosing. Cozy to the outside, McCandless to the inside. This is going to be something, folks. So you got Schildhouse and Breyer up here, 3rd and 4th. Championship all over that. Meanwhile, for Champagne, he is stuck back in the 13th position. He's going to need some help.
Going to be interesting from Champagne here, considering he sees his 2 championship rivals up here battling at the front. Might see some desperation out of him, but we'll see on this restart. Blake McCandless, Michael Cozy Jr. This is going to be fun.
Going to have 6 laps to go when we get the restart. Hold your breath as clouds come over the speedway. They know what's coming. Green flag, 6 laps to go. McCandless with a big jump out in front.
Oh, and Case Collabach's around. Justin Champagne as well. Case
big crash.
Going, and it's almost the field.
Wes Graham, Garrett Smithley involved. Justin Champagne with a lot of damage. Not what you wanted to see for somebody trying to fight for a championship who had such a great start to the season and was looking forward to Atlanta. He wanted Atlanta last year, and now he's got a damaged race car on the doorstep of overtime here from North Wilkesboro and currently sits 21st. Here's the replay.
You see right here, it's just a stack up, and again, Justin Champagne, I said he might, be a little impatient watching his 2 rivals up there, and sure enough, he's trying to get around Case Collabach right there. A very similar accident to Carl Edwards, Joey Logano at Homestead a few years ago, where it just hooks him into the inside wall and pushes both of them back up into the into the field. You see Wes Graham, who had another fast race car involved as well.
Got tagged right at the end. Big damage for him. Getting hit by Smithley as well. On board with the Candyman. Dale Reynolds involved. We are choosing already. McCandless again choosing the bottom. Shieldhouse to the outside. Breyer goes to the bottom this time. And Champagne's barely going to stay on the lead lap.
And that's big for that 38 car. We'll see right here. Once
So
again.
this is a natural green-white checker. If they wreck again, then we go to overtime. If we get the white flag, this race is official. If they crash before the white flag and Ben throws it in time, we will go to overtime. Ben is pretty quick on the button to throw the flag if things start to develop before the start-finish line. 2 to go, green flag. Another great launch from McCandless, looking for his first win on the season to turn 1.
Looking back in turn number 2, Landon Huffman chopping down to the inside, and Frozen Toes is going to go around.
Big crash. That is huge.
It's the big one, gang.
Overtime from North Wilkesboro as half the field piles in. Car that made it through that, Justin Champagne, slipped right on through, picks up 8 spots.
And that might just be the help that he needed. That you alluded to, you'll see it. Yeah, Landon
Starts
Huffman
with
right
Eliza
here.
and Huffman, and then Huffman hooks it back into the field, and it's calamity. I don't think Huffman's intention was to hook immediately back into the field, looking at the wheels. I think he was trying to get off the 64, and then it was already too late. He turned it back to the left, and he was cocked straight up toward Harry Tiller and sent Harry straight up into the opening. Rips the right front wheel off. Dylan Kem gets turned around. Joey Stone, Garrett, Dale Reynolds, Cosman, Gabe Wood. You see Case. Big damage.
And if you thought that last caution was a big wreck, this is an even bigger one. And here's Justin Champagne again. We said he needed some help, and you see it right here. Just going to be able to thread the needle. Half the field is wrecking up ahead of him. Gets past 1 car, 2 car, 3 cars. Almost was involved in it, but going to come out of it okay. And you said 8 positions he made up there?
Something like that.
Yeah, that's...
Now, Dylan Kem here going to be out of the race. He already used his fast repair, and his car was junk. So he had to tow it back to the pit box. His night is over. Everybody else is still on the racetrack. Drivers that have used their fast repairs already, Shieldhouse, drive-through, Dale Reynolds, Champagne, Wes Graham, Garrett Smithley, Harry Tiller, Case Kallenbach, and the as aforementioned Kem. This is attempt number 1 of Infinite at overtime. Here, Landon Huffman just crashed. What is Landon doing? Oh, coming out of the pits on the apron on the transition, he lost it. Oh, my. All right. McCandless and Breyer, front row, 2 to go. Let's see if they can make it back around. Here we go.
Lots of sliding going on through turns 1 and 2 right here. Breyer still to the outside of Blake McCandless. David Shieldhouse is right behind him. They are side by side right now for the lead. Coming to the white flag. We're going to make it.
Cosman crashes in the back. Caution's out. They did not make it. Fly Guy, Case Kallenbach, Cosman, and Wes Graham. They did not make it to the flag. And we are going to another overtime. I cannot believe that it was close. I had the leader across the line, but I did not have the white flag on my screen. I only got the yellow. Replay.
And then they just barely got it there. You see a little bit of contact. Wes Graham going around, and the best pusher of the button in the business, gets another one off right before the white flag, and we're going to have another attempt at this. You can see it right here with Briar LaPrade, Blake McCandless, Michael Cozy Jr. And you see behind him wrecking before they get to that flag, so we will have another attempt.
This will be attempt number 2. They are going to try and shorten this. Here's a good angle. Everybody come crashing toward the start-finish line. Look out. Of course, you can barely see it because we're in 4x3, but... Oh, my. All right, well... We're choosing this time. And McCandless again to the bottom. Cozy will follow him. And Caleb, on that last restart, that's the first time we've seen anybody be able to hold on with Blake. And it was because Briar got a good restart there, was able to hang on to the outside of that 41, headed to turn number 1.
Yeah, with how limited time we're faced with here, if you want a chance here at Blake McCandless, I think you got to have another restart like that if you're Briar. You cannot let this 41 gap you going into turn number 1. So if Briar wants a shot here, which is going to be so important with that number 20 breathing right down his neck, then he's going to have to stick with the 41 here. We'll see if he's able to do that coming to the restart.
2 laps to settle it. Overtime attempt number 2 of Infinite. Green flag. Better launch that time from Briar on the outside. How hard does McCandless send it into the corner? Pretty far. Cozy gets a tap. He holds on. Coming to the white flag. Pinching down. Here comes Schildhouse. 3 wide. Gets a little loose. And they're going to make it. Last lap. Briar, your leader. McCandless on the bottom. Oh, I think Briar's got it. Here comes Cozy. Oh, there they all go. Schildhouse in big trouble. Briar LaPrade going to run away with one. Briar LaPrade is going to win at North Wilkesboro. Going to second. He ties almost with Frisch at the line. Joey Stone is a top 10. He has a top 5. He finishes P4. It's a crash fest in the remaining part of the racetrack. David Schildhouse will finish 15th. Championship implications on the last lap.
Further championship implications as well as Justin Champagne is going to come home in 20th position here. And that is not with that 38 needed. We'll, again, get those points calculated and out for you, but Briar LaPrade, I think, is going to be your new points leader.
There's no I think. He is your new point leader. Oh, and Chase Cabry finishes 11th there in race 2. Big trouble for him trying to get back into the fight. I think he's going to be on the outside looking in. Here's the replay of the crash.
And I mean, just it was literally everybody from second on back involved. You see it right here develop on the backstretch, and it's Blake McCandless. David Schildhouse going to drive just right under him, and Cozy going to get hooked back into the field, and it just takes out everybody else that had made it through.
Briar LaPrade's average finish here at North Wilkesboro. Man, oh man. He's won here twice. He has yet to finish off the podium here. 1.75 his average finish. Oh my gosh. Cosman gets punched in the mouth at the flag. Well, here are your results. Briar LaPrade, your winner. Going to second. That's his best finish of the year outside his win at Daytona. Frisch finishes 3rd. Joey Stone, a season-high P4. Dale Reynolds finishes P5. That's a season high for him. And actually is just shy of a career high. Season 3 at a 4th at Dega, 3rd at Atlanta. So good run for him. Sean Butler finishes 6th. Then it's Garrett Smithley, who had a good go at it in his debut, gets a top 10 out of the deal. Gabe Wood, Fly Guy, Cozy, your top 10.
Chase Cabry might be on the outside looking in now with an 11th place finish. Cosmin Ionescu coming home 12th. Harry Tiller had a strong run. The pit strategy didn't quite work out for him, taking no tires there. He finishes 13th. Case Collenbach after that late race pileup going to finish 14th. David Schildhouse, a huge hit to his hopes. The points leader coming home 15th here tonight. Landon Huffman had speed all night as well, coming home 16th. Blake McCandless finishing 17th. Drive Through in 18th, Frozen Toes 19th, and Justin Champagne, another championship contender, is going to round out your top 20.
Final three, Wes Graham, Dylan Kim, Justin Malillo only really made it a lap, and Brayton Laster did not make an attempt here in this second race. Let's talk with your race winner, Briar LaPrade. You've got an average finish here at North Wilkesboro in core of 1.75, 2 wins, a second, and a third. You're pretty good here, and for the second season in a row, you're headed into Atlanta with a shot at the championship.
Yeah, hopefully my internet decides to hold up next week. I plan on it, holding up, but we'll see. But yeah, just like close to our season average, unless it's changed a little bit. Yeah, that average finish sounds about right. It's Wilkesboro's pretty fun. I was actually struggling with the weather change these guys implemented. It's definitely closed the gap between everybody. So it's going to be fun to see how it is next week at Atlanta. Obviously, I wish it's hot and slick at Atlanta because why not? But yeah, that was a blast. Definitely hard to pass, that's for sure. But I don't know. I hope I went and reviewed it. On my stream, the green flag was out when I hit the gas, so hopefully Blake's not too unhappy about it because he sounded like I don't know if he's unhappy about me like getting ahead or what, but I went and double checked and I went full throttle as soon as the green was waving. So hopefully it's all good. No one's gonna be mad about it or anything. And David, unfortunately, because me and David usually hang out during these races, he got caught up in that. So hopefully it's a little like I'd still love for the championship to be pretty close going into Atlanta because it was really close last year and obviously I didn't show up. But yeah, we'll see when the points get updated.
Well,
that was
they just got updated here.
Really?
You have a 22 point lead over David Schildhouse, a 32-point lead over Gary Owen. That's your top 3. And then it's another 38 from you to Frisch. And it's a long way back to Champagne. I think it's going to be realistically 4 drivers fighting for the championship, but it's more likely going to come down to you and car number 20.
Yeah, that's something you love to hear because David's a great guy. I know we'll race clean. Wouldn't blame him if we try because we got 2 races, so dumping me in 1 race, well, it won't hurt too much, obviously, but I feel like as long as I finish, should have a decent shot at the championship the way the season's been going. So, like I said, as long as we finish, should be good. Wouldn't be mad if David tried a little sneaky something. It'd make it fun, entertaining for you guys. Get to be screaming and yelling one of them classic Atlanta finishes between me and David Schildhouse. So, hopefully that's how it is next week. I want it to be fun and exciting for the fans. So, see how it goes.
There's Briar LaPrade. Congratulations. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Briar LaPrade, winner in race number 2 at Watkins Glen. Let's talk to Gary Owen, second place with Caleb.
Gary Owen, you were 6th on that final restart there. Last lap calamity. Talk us through it.
My dude, that was absolute insanity in the perfect way possible. I mean, I was hoping David was going to crash, and it worked because I think he was like the point leader, and somehow I'm in the hunt somewhat. So, I mean, we started, we had like 3 late restarts there. We were on 4 tires. I think the guys in front of us were on 2, so we were hoping for some green flag racing. We didn't get a lot of it at the end, but that final lap, I mean, we were in the perfect spot at the perfect time. They all start crashing. I thought about just full sending into the crash and just hoping I would come out of it. And then I just decided to lift and cruise, and like literally the seas parted away. I don't think Moses could have done it better. So it worked out, and P2, I would take it. I'm so happy with that result.
And I mean, now all of a sudden you saw Justin Champagne with a 20th place finish here tonight. Not exactly the strongest of runs, but all of a sudden looking forward to next week at Atlanta, and you find yourself 3rd in points with a real chance at a championship here. How do you feel after a second place, carrying this momentum on to hopefully a championship bid.
Do you know how many points I'm out yet, or is that to be determined?
33.
30. Okay.
32. Yeah, you're right. I did the math and I had it wrong. Yeah, 32.
Well, honestly, if I went in with a 32 point advantage, I think I'd still lose because Atlanta is a track that I am notoriously bad at. However, I've gotten a lot better at just tire management over the last year. I think I've been kind of showing that this season in course, so hopefully I'll have something. But, I mean, I don't think I'll have anything for the championship too ahead of me, but we'll give it our best shot. I mean, anything can happen, right?
Well, if you finish second here tonight, then I guess that proves true. Just the 24 exuberating confidence. That's Gary Owen, and he finishes second tonight. A strong run. Might find himself in position for a championship here.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
It's Gary Owen coming home in P2. And Frisch didn't show up, so we'll talk to somebody we haven't talked to in over a year. Joey Stone, P4, first top 10 on the season. Take us through it.
First top 5 too, my friend. That felt like. Well, I mean, I hope it is. Is it right? I think it's first top 5 too. I mean.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, the way this season's gone, that felt like a win, man. I can't tell you the smile that's on my face. It's been such a rough season for us. Bunch of wheel issues, getting involved in wrecks that were, part of our fault, Talladega, and other stuff. So it just felt good to kind of have the horseshoe, with us today and have some luck there at the end. Just crazy. I couldn't believe the seas parted right there. I think we were just at the right place at the right time. But I mean, I was really happy with the race pace we had in race 2 there. We were right there with some really good guys fighting for 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. Just trying to learn how they drive this track. And I wish we could have had another green white checker to see what happened, man. But just really happy about the result.
A P3 last year when we went to Atlanta. Are you expecting something that well going into next week? Try and build off the momentum. What's the game plan going into the double at Atlanta next week?
Yeah, I mean, Old Atlanta I've had circled on the schedule since the schedule came out. That's just such an amazing track for me. It's my home track too, and this combo, man, we have a really good relationship there. I feel like tire saving at a track like that's just something I've gotten really good at, over the course of the last year or so. Kind of what Gary said before I was listening to him. Also, shout out to Gary Owen. He's part of the same esports team with me now, so happy to see my teammate get a second place finish too. That's really cool. But yeah, really excited for Atlanta. I just love that kind of racing. It comes down to just tire management, throttle control, and just being very patient and multi-groove racing in a way. It's just my kind of racing. I love it, and I'm really excited for it. So hopefully we can just end this horrific season on an amazing note and maybe put this 5-car in victory lane.
Joey, congratulations, and best of luck to you next week from Atlanta. We'll see you then.
Thank you, guys, and thank you for a good show.
That's Joey Stone, P4 tonight from North Wilkesboro. Caleb, 1 to go, and it's going to come down to it. There you see your points. There's no margin yet, so you have to rely on our sketchy math. Now, what? It changed. How did it change? How does Breyer have more points than he did before? No, I'm stupid. I need to go to bed. Holy crap. That's the same number that it was before. The margin is still 22 points. This is the crap you rely on when you don't put a margin up there to tell me what the gap is.
Yeah, well, either way, with only a 22-point margin, that can really swing either way, as you saw tonight. All of a sudden, we have a very clear picture going into Atlanta next week, and it does not really involve Justin Champagne. He's going to have a really uphill battle here, trying to make up all these points that he lost here. That last lap wreck really not the greatest for him. He started out this season so hot, and all of a sudden just doesn't look like he'll really be in the conversation. Looking ahead, though, Breyer LaPrade, David Schildhouse, Gary Owen, and Michael P. Frisch, that's going to be one heck of a battle. And, you heard from Breyer right there. He and David Schildhouse going to battle to the bitter end. Either way, it's going to be a super fun matchup in Atlanta next week.
No doubt about it. Look forward to it. One of them classic Atlanta races. What's on tap next week. Our finishing interviews tonight brought to you by that dude named Dale, Classic NASCAR Gaming done right. Again, want to thank all of our sponsors, FTF.GG, Cody H Gaming, Swan Security, Naughty Wood at naughtywoodbarbecue.com. That dude named Dale, Gabe Wood, Team Rick at Soundhead, and SimWrapMarket sponsoring the series. 1 to go. It's Atlanta next week. 10 days to the Bar Visuals FTF 500. Qualifying begins on Friday. Legend of the Future ends their season tomorrow from Charlotte, 8:45 p.m. right here on FTF. For our producer, Zach Johnson, Eric Messer on social media. For Caleb Hoffman alongside me, I'm Jacob Pitts. Thanks for the ride. We'll see you next week for one last race at Atlanta.